So nice to see so many of you here. I'm not really used to have these kind of speeches, so I'll try to break ice, as we say. I have a few questions for you. How many of you bought a newspaper today? Please raise your hands. How many of you read something from newspaper today? That was my next question. How many of you read a newspaper story no matter where the story was? Okay, the future is digital. Digital and dynamic. It has to be, we've heard. And I think we have to start all over again. This is me. Hi, I'm digital. I'm on Snapchat. And I'm on 5 other chat apps, and I'm on 3 social media platforms. And they say I'm old because I still use social media platforms. So I've heard that like 5 times in the last month. So I'm here. I'm on Snapchat. And you know, it took me like few hours to just go through all these questions, why Snapchat is important, why this is not important. Sorry. And I got my answer. The answer is this. 3 billion people use chats every day. And 2.5 billion people use social media networks. And my friends tell me if people are using these apps every day, you have to do it also. In the last year, chats are more popular than social media. People exchange more photos, videos, and information through chats. They even buy things through chats. These are 4 biggest chat networks versus 4 biggest social media. I'm 36, by the way. I'm not considering myself that old. But I needed the help of a 24-year-old to start my Snapchat. And then I needed a few lessons. And then I started realizing I'm like on symbiosis classes. I press. Okay, where is it? Press. Okay, what's going on? Okay. And then I erased it on my phone because I didn't see any use of it. But then a 23-year-old told me she sent an SMS to her brother. And she got a criticism back. Don't send me texts. I'm not reading them. I use chat apps. Send me a message on Snapchat. And then I immediately installed my Snapchat back on the phone. And then it took me like 22 minutes and 30 seconds to do this. I didn't quite get it, why it always disappeared, because I was making it and it disappeared. And I did it again and it disappeared. And then an 18-year-old told me, duh, it's Snapchat. It's Snapchat. 200 million Snapchatters are among us on this world every month, actively. 700 million newspapers are printed every day, mostly in Asia, because it's the biggest market. And it looks like the future is on Snapchat, obviously. And it looks like the future leaders of this world are just doing stupid things and spending their time for stupid stuff. For example, watching their cat catching paper mice on hyperlapse, or watching their friends' faces domination, or something else. But the fact is, gossiping and goofing around was always a reality, and it still is, and it will be. But it will be digitalized. It is digitalized, and it's not a big thing. So we have to move on. The fact is that journalism, even though our friends, our colleagues, some gurus are telling us that it has to it doesn't have to compete with this, and it doesn't have to go through this. Why? That's why. These are the latest numbers of global editors networks supported by business intelligence. Many of you would argue that these media, Guardian, Washington Post, New York Times, mostly are most of the time in red numbers. Yes, they are, most of the time, that's true. But they proved one thing. Quality counts, in-depth counts, analysis counts, long reads count, they still count. Pulitzer awarded Jackie Managinski from USA was in Ljubljana this spring, and she gave us a really encouraging information. Long reads are really popular again. People stay and read and read and read more than they did when all these photos in red on the left side came as a result of digital revolution. And even stories with no JPEGs, no multimedia graphics or other interactive stuff work. People want to read. People want to read good stuff. Newspapers as a paper might be dying, but newspaper stories obviously live on. I have another question. How many of you eat burgers? Okay, not a really burger kind of crowd, but okay. Do you remember in the 90s when McDonald's first came to Slovenia? I do. I think we all do. But we only did burgers because they were new. It was something new. It was hip. It was available. It was cheap. Not because it was really good and it was quality. I have to admit, I still eat in McDonald's when I'm hangover. It's a perfect cure. But otherwise, I eat fancy hipster burgers, and I think you do too if you eat burgers. Even though they are like 3 or 4 times more expensive than burgers in McDonald's. We are willing to pay them a lot. Why? It's the same as it's with fast foods. It's the same. We are still impressed, maybe at this point, how easily accessible information are, but the novelty is, and this is the proof, wearing off. As with everything else, we want quality. It's good old grandma's pleskavica on the rise again. It's just with Kobe beef, and it costs a lot more. And it's the same with quality in journalism. We get what we pay for. Claiming Slovene media suck. I often hear that from my friends, also managers, or some other friends from other sectors of this society, that Slovene media suck. We are not good. We are not doing things right. We are too slow. We don't go fast into the future, and so on. But it's the same as claiming, for example, that managers fucked up this country. It's not true. Maybe some did, but most of them didn't. It's the same with news and with journalists. It's a stereotype. But managers expect us, when I speak with them, in a lot of cases, to improve the economic climate of this country with more positive stories on current affairs. Civil society activists expect us to change policies and to change institutions. Academicians want us to make this country more intellectual, to do things in depth, to be all very smart. But we are just a mirror. We report, we analyze, we correct. We can change institutions, we can change policies, we can't put things in people's minds that would make them more intellectual. Nor for the better, nor for the worse. We can't change. We just reflect. But we can change things together with stories. Because stories are alive for all of us. We can change them together. And we can take time, more time, we can be more patient, we can follow expertise, knowledge, and ultimately we have to put in some financial resources, of course, unfortunately. And that is the reason that good old newspaper stories will live on, because we will do it together. They must and they will survive, no matter the format, medium, or platform. The digital future is dynamic, but we have to really make sure it's not hyper-dynamic, because it can be. We've heard that from our previous speakers. We journalists have, I have to admit, and I'm aware of it, have to do a lot about this. A lot of work is in front of us. But at the end, it's up to you. It's up to the public, and maybe, since I'm here, it's up to you, business investors. So, what do you want to eat?